Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I want to put out a video talking about the report that my colleague Michael Scotto at HoopsHype.com, go check out our website, link should be in the description for more coverage like that. And what we'll be talking today is the report that he put out saying the Warriors, who've had done their due diligence on the trade market, are interested in Nikola Vucevic, John Collins, Jonas Valanciunas, and Robert Williams. We've heard that they previously targeted Jimmy Butler and Cam Johnson, and their interest in those wings have got, or forwards if you want to classify them, either or, have decreased. Albeit, I believe that's because Jonathan Kuminga and Andrew Wiggins and Moses Moody have been solid, and then they have depth with Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson. Why ruin that? So today we'll be talking about those trades, those four guys. I want to hear your thoughts. Which one would you do if you were the Golden State Warriors, and why? And yeah, let's get right into it. So the first one we're going to do is Vooch, just because he's like the biggest name, and we'd assume if they were going to do the deal, it would be as many expiring contracts as possible. To me, you'd have to assume, right? That's $8 million you got in Looney. Now, Santos has also been playing well as of late, which becomes hard to think, like, do they want to trade him as well? Because if you include Santos, which I think, or Lindy Waters, in my thought, Lindy Waters is the guy they like more, but Santos has been playing well as of late out of necessity, and he has another year on his deal. However, if you do this deal, it would be Gary Payton II, Kevon Looney, and Santos. You would probably just have to include 2 second-round picks. They're saying now they want a first-round pick, but it's been reported all year that Vooch could be moved for multiple second-round picks. In this deal, you are gaining $978,000 in cap space, so they are a first apron hard cap team after this trade if they wanted. They also do have to sign a player, at least to be, I believe, 2 players to be like cap compliant, which they would probably just convert 1 or 2 of their two-ways. I think this one is an easier trade than people think it would be, but yeah, that's the first one for the Warriors, in my opinion, that makes sense. Another one for the Warriors, if they even want to go and just shed salary, oh, wow. Just choked on some water right there. But I think if they even want to go with the Warriors and just go with Jonas Valanciunas again, 2 second-round picks, I believe they would be able to do a similar deal with the Warriors, or with the Wizards and Warriors, that if they could include Looney in this deal and do it with Guy Santos. And still, I believe this deal, yep, it works right there, 2 second-round picks. Or if you take off Guy Santos, you could do Kevon Looney, and they're saving a bunch of money. Or you could do it again with this combination. I think this is one that gives you a lot more cap flexibility, as they can send the expiring contract and a young guy and 2 players to the Wizards. I think this is like the safest deal. You just don't improve as a defensive team, which I think they want an interior rim protector sort of guy, or they want an offensive weapon. And yes, Jonas Valanciunas would be a more offensive dominant player. I think if you're going to try to if you're willing to move Looney and Payton and Santos, just go for Vooch, because he's the guy who has the highest ceiling. However, we'll continue. The Portland Trailblazers are the next one. I do believe the Portland Trailblazers deal would have to be both Kevon Looney and Gary Payton being packaged there, because regardless, you can't do what we just did with the Wizards trade, as Robert Williams is making $12.4 million, so it's a bit more difficult. In this deal, though, the Warriors are $3 million saving. Yes, this allows them to remain under the first apron after this trade has been complete, and they get a guy who has another year on his deal, and he just has to come off the bench, Robert Williams. So all the injury concerns, you get a guy who's a dominant rebounder and who's a really, really solid defensive player, and he's going to be able to be a hyper efficient offensive guy. Now, what is the concern when you go for a guy with Robert Williams? I think this whole deal, if you were trying to make it, I think it'll be interesting, as this could be something that is worrisome when you look at a guy like Mr. Robert Williams. He's injury prone. He's only played 12 games this year, so I don't know. My opinion, this is the riskiest trade. But when he has played, 6 points, 5 rebounds, like a block a game, he's been solid. It's just his body's just been bad. And I think that's the riskiest one. Now, this is low-key my favorite. But the Jazz have been notoriously just difficult to deal with. And I really like the idea of them bringing in Mr. John Collins. I think the idea of John Collins coming here, yes, it's $26 million. All right, welcome back. So here we are, Gary Payton, Kevon Looney, Guy Santos, and we add Lindy Waters. And this is where we run into the problem. This deal, they need to figure out where they would pull $5 million from. As even with one of these guys being attached via a trade exception and whatnot, this deal can't be done. They need to find $4 million to clear it. So that's where my thoughts go. Would they trade Kyle Anderson? Because out of he would be pushed out the rotation, and at that point it kind of works. And my thought is, if you trade Kyle Anderson, you don't have to trade Guy Santos, and you churn this deal into a Gary Payton, Kyle Anderson, Kevon Looney deal, and you only trade 3 players. So I think, looking at this holistically, the most realistic route for them, obviously they would have to draft picks wise. The Warriors, if I was the Warriors, I would trade the pick this year and then just give them a second and do that. That's your deal. You give up this year's first. If you don't want to trade this year's second, you give them a second down the road. But yeah, you give them first, because this year, if you're trying to go all in this on this team this year, that pick's going to be in the back. So give it up. And the Warriors technically increase salary by $700,000. If they want to save money, you throw in Guy. And if you throw in Guy, the team's still hard cap to the first apron. So I'm trying to see if they can make themselves below the first apron by doing anything specific. Now, even if they included both guys, they would still be above the first apron, so there's no point in trading either of those guys. So this is what I think that deal would look like if they did it. Yeah, I want to hear your guys' opinion now that we have done all those trades. What do you guys think? I personally think the best 2 deals you can do is either Vooch or John Collins. I think Vooch might be the cheapest guy to give you the most bang for your buck. Safest bet is Jonas Valanciunas, and Robert Williams is pretty risky. So let me hear your thoughts down below. Like, comment, and subscribe.